So, hi, I wanted to cover a couple things. The algorithm has been chatting about these rhinoplasties and ethnic rhinoplasties, and I have a couple points, okay, because I just had to say something about it. So if you want to stay and yap with me, feel free to share your opinion in the comments. I have a couple points and I wrote them down so I stay on track, okay? All right, so let's dive in. So first of all, I want to talk about social media and algorithms. I think people need to be aware that, number one, as me being an elder millennial, you're not aware how this generation is being raised with social media, constantly seeing themselves, constantly seeing other people, constantly seeing celebrities, and also not being aware that those celebrities or those models or people that they're seeing every day are constantly having makeup, using Facetune, editing their images, using filters, right? There's all these things they're doing, so you're not even seeing their real face, their real skin, their real texture, okay? And then the other part of that is that we're being exposed to celebrities and people that have all this fillers, Botox, all these extra things that people in real life you're really not seeing. Even like some of the wigs and things like that, or some of the makeup. I mean, if you think about it, like when you go and you're out and about and you're at the grocery store, do you really see people, if you don't live in like Atlanta, okay, because I used to live in Atlanta, or if you don't live in like Miami, are you seeing people, or Vegas, where their lace is totally laid and I'm saying, everything, it looks like real and it's giving scalp? No, you never see that. You never see that, right? And it's like the regular everyday people you are not seeing. But when you scroll on social media, what you're constantly seeing pushed is all these people with fillers in their lips and skin fillers and all this facial balancing. Like it's not in real life, but it's constantly pushed to you like it's real life, but it's not real life. The second part of social media is also people need to be mindful of what is being pushed, especially specifically images of Black women. So there could be, let's say, 20 women talking about they got a rhinoplasty or ethnic rhinoplasty. The algorithm, though, is going to push you the botched one, right? Because it's rage bait. It gets people interacting, people comment, it gets pushed, it gets shared. But somebody that went from, let's say, a okay nose to a better nose or a cuter nose, and people say, oh, that's cuter, you look beautiful, or your nose looked better before. Let's say there's 5 comments. Nobody cares. But when you see a Whoville nose, oh my God, all the bullying, it's pushed, it's slammed. Now it's got millions of views, right? People need to ask themselves, why are these specific things being pushed on the algorithm on the FYP? Why? Why is this being pushed? Why are people talking about it? Why is it always Black women looking crazy? Because there's lots of botched of every ethnicity. But why is it Black women being pushed this botched image? Now, I would never ever bash anybody getting plastic surgery. Lots of people have different reasoning for getting plastic surgery. Me personally, I've never had any plastic surgery. I have had a fibroid removed. That's the only surgery I've went under. And actually, in doing my research for this fibroid surgery, I came across lots of YouTube and TikTok plastic surgery videos, people doing surgery vlogs. So there is a lot of conversation about surgery, plastic surgery, yada yada yada. And what I did notice with that is there are lots of people that have true deformities. They have real issues. They have real problems with their nose. It's not just they don't like how their nose appears. They actually have something happen, whether they got into some sort of like domestic or physical abuse, or they broke their nose when they were a child, there are birth defects and problems that people are born with that they're going to get corrected. People have cancer, da 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 da. There's lots of reasons for people getting corrective plastic surgery, or they're fixing something like seriously their septum is broken. And these are reasons that people are getting plastic surgery, okay? So you never know why people are truly getting plastic surgery. But as real as those true deformities, physical deformities that you can see, there are also mental deformities and psychological deformities that people have in their head that you don't know where it came from, as far as what their mother told them, what their siblings laughed at them about, people that were bullied. And I know for me specifically, when I was in elementary school, pretty much all the way through high school, I went to majority white schools. Now, my parents are very black, pro-black, so, I had a healthy balance in terms of the church and the community environment, how I was raised. My family's all very Southern or whatever, so I was always with cousins and with family, so I was still around black people. But I'm saying, if I had just been dealing with the people I was in school with, where a lot of times I was the only black person, your nose looks different, your lips look different, your body is shaped different. So I could see where certain people begin to have this body or facial dysmorphia and believe they have some sort of deformity, especially if they're in a certain environment, a certain neighborhood, or they're working with these people. Now, for example, let's say I say my body is shaped different, my face is shaped different, my lips are shaped different, right? Then all these girls I go to school with, that I'm undressing in PE with, in high school. But it wasn't until I went to college and went to a HBCU, shout out to FAMU, where I'm like, hey, there's other people that have noses like me. There's other people that have lips like me. You know what I'm saying? So if you are completely isolated, you may begin to have some sort of dysmorphia. And I feel like before people, when as an elder millennial, I'm just looking at magazines and maybe some TV shows and maybe some movies. But then you still have people in real life, like at your church and other organizations, or your aunts and uncles that you can look up to and see their beauty. That's not your total reference for beauty. But what we're seeing now is people's reference for beauty is social media. And it's constantly being inundated. And especially, like I was saying, with these filters, with Photoshop, people are constantly seeing and thinking they need to look a certain way. And what it's pushing is, it's pushing conformity. It's not pushing diversity. So it's like one skin tone, one hair type, one nose, right? One set of lips. And so much of this is tied to racism, it's tied to featureism, it's tied to texturism, it's tied to colorism, this conforming to have this one look, whatever this one standard of beauty is being deemed as. And that's a problem. So people aren't really being able to, be themselves, be diverse, be creative. And, to refer back to what Cat Williams said, our noses, that's why they shot off the pharaoh's noses. If you look on like the British Museum, a lot of the noses are still intact, but it's clear they're black. It's clear they're black. The nose is a brand. Your lips are a brand. Your eye shape, your face is a brand. It's a brand of your ancestors. And so I'm not knocking anybody getting any work done. Do whatever that makes you feel beautiful, that makes you feel happy. But really take a time to dissect why you're getting what you're getting and who you're getting it for. Because I could see where a lot of people, it just continues to go down the rabbit hole where they change their nose because they didn't like one little thing, especially when they were so young in their 20s. And then they just go down this endless rabbit hole of getting revision surgery after revision surgery after revision. It never ends.